ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something real straight. Discipline is not something you're born with. It's something you build every single day. Everybody wants success, but very few are willing to do what it takes to stay disciplined. You see, motivation is temporary. It comes and goes like the wind. But discipline, that's what keeps you moving when motivation disappears. You can't wait to feel like it. You got to do it even when you don't feel like it. That's what separates the dreamers from the doers. Discipline is a daily choice, not a one-time decision. Every single morning when you wake up, you are presented with a question that determines how your entire day will go. Will you choose to stay committed to your goals, or will you let your comfort take over? Most people think discipline is a moment of power, like flipping a switch and suddenly becoming unstoppable. But that's not how it works. Discipline is a decision you have to make again and again every single day, even when it feels repetitive, even when no one notices, and even when you're tired of it. It's not built in the big moments, it's built in the small ones. When you choose to wake up early instead of hitting the snooze button, when you choose to focus on your work instead of scrolling through distractions, when you choose to stay consistent instead of quitting when things get tough, those little choices add up. Those moments when you choose discipline over ease are the moments that define who you become. You see, people often talk about success as if it's a single event, as if one decision, one lucky break, or one opportunity changes everything. But the truth is, success is a result of hundreds of tiny, often boring, daily decisions that compound over time. It's the decision to keep showing up, to keep doing what's right, to keep working towards something that no one else can see but you. Discipline isn't exciting. It's not glamorous. It's simple, but it's powerful. It's what makes ordinary people extraordinary. Because while talent might get you started, discipline keeps you going when talent fades. Every day you wake up, your mind gives you two voices. One that says stay comfortable, and another that says get up and grind. The first voice is easy to listen to because it tells you to stay where it's safe. It tells you you've done enough, that you deserve to rest, that it's okay to take it easy today. But the second voice, that's the voice of your higher self. That voice is the reason you started in the first place. That's the voice that believes in your potential even when you doubt yourself. Discipline is choosing that second voice every day, no matter how hard it gets. Discipline doesn't care about how you feel, it's about what you decide. You may not always feel motivated, but you can always make a choice. The difference between successful people and everyone else is that successful people don't wait to feel like doing something, they just do it. They'll rely on motivation because they know it's temporary. They build routines, habits, and standards that push them forward no matter what. That's why you'll see them succeed consistently, not because they never fail, but because they never stop showing up. Choose a discipline every day also builds something far more valuable than results. It builds character, it strengthens your mind, your willpower, and your self-respect. Every time you follow through on what you said you'd do, you prove to yourself that you can be trusted. You create a pattern of self-belief that becomes unbreakable. And once you have that, no one can take it from you. The power of daily discipline is that it turns you into someone who doesn't need to be pushed anymore. Someone who moves forward because it's who they are, not because someone told them to. Think about everything you want in life is waiting on the other side of consistent daily choices. You want to be healthier? That's a daily choice. You want to build a business? Daily choice. You want to grow mentally, emotionally, spiritually? Every single one of those requires you to wake up and make the same decision again and again. Stay disciplined, even when it's hard. That's why discipline isn't something you practice once. It's a lifestyle you live by. The small, steady, consistent actions that you take each day might not seem like much right now, but over time, they shape your destiny. Every choice compounds into results, and every act of discipline moves you closer to your dreams. So remember, it's not about one big decision. It's about the daily decision to stay disciplined no matter how you feel, because that's how greatness is built. Your emotions will never build your future. Your habits will. Most people spend their whole lives chasing feelings. They wait until they feel motivated, until they feel ready, or until life feels right. But here's the truth. Feelings are fleeting, unreliable, and inconsistent. If you let emotions control your decisions, you'll live in a cycle of starting strong and quitting early. You'll go hard for a few days when you're excited, but the moment that feeling fades, your effort fades too. The people who truly build success, who rise above average, are the ones who learn to act regardless of how they feel. They know that emotions come and go, but discipline stays. You can't build a strong future based on moods. You can't wake up every day waiting for inspiration to strike. Some mornings you'll wake up tired, unmotivated, and even frustrated. But that doesn't mean the work stops. That doesn't mean your dreams pause. Because dreams don't care about your emotions. They care about your effort. The future is built brick by brick through consistent habits, not occasional bursts of motivation. When you rely on feelings, you stay stuck in inconsistency. But when you rely on habits, you become unstoppable. Habits are what makes sure you show up even when your emotions tell you not to. Habits protect your vision from the chaos of your emotion. Think about it. Your emotions are temporary, but your habits are permanent reflections of who you choose to be. A habit is not just something you do. It's something you become. If you make a habit of being disciplined, focused, and persistent, then those traits become your identity. You don't need to think twice about doing the right thing because it becomes automatic. That's the power of habits. They take over when motivation disappears. The most successful people in the world aren't the ones who are the most excited. They're the ones who have trained themselves to stay consistent. They've built systems, not just goals. They don't rely on willpower. They rely on structure. It's easy to say, I'll do it when I feel like it, but you'll realize soon that feeling like it rarely happens. You'll never feel like waking up early, studying for hours, or working out when you're tired. But when you train yourself to act without waiting for emotion, you take control of your life. You stop being a slave to your moods and become the master of your destiny. Every time you do what needs to be done instead of what you feel like doing, you strengthen your self-discipline muscle. That's how habits are built. Through repetition, not emotion. There's a reason why the best athletes, entrepreneurs, and leaders all talk about routine. They've learned that habits remove the decision-making pressure. When something becomes part of your daily routine, you don't waste time negotiating with yourself. You don't ask, should I do it today? You just do it. That's how habits turn effort into a lifestyle. It's not about doing it perfectly every day. It's about doing it consistently enough that it becomes second nature. Over time, your habits will begin to work for you even when your emotions work against you. The truth is, your emotions can lie to you. They can tell you you're not good enough, that you should give up, that it's too hard. But your habits tell the truth. They show what you're really committed to. If you've built habits of discipline, your actions will overpower your emotions every time. You'll still have bad days, but your habits will carry you through them. You'll still feel doubt, but your routines will remind you to keep going. That's why habits matter more than how you feel in the moment. Every time you let emotions lead, you move backward. Every time you let discipline lead, you move forward. Success doesn't care how you feel. It only cares what you do. You can cry, struggle, or feel exhausted, But if you still show up, you'll win it. That's what separates achievers from dreamers. Emotions are temporary. Habits are forever. Build habits that keep you going when your emotions can't, and you'll build a future that's unshakable. Because at the end of the day, feelings fade, but habits, they last a lifetime. Success doesn't come from motivation. It comes from consistency. Motivation is that spark that gets you started, but consistency is the engine that keeps you moving forward. Everybody loves to talk about getting motivated, watching videos, reading quotes, or listening to inspiring speeches, and that's good. But motivation doesn't last. It fades the moment life gets tough, the moment results don't come fast enough, or the moment comfort starts calling your name. That's why so many people start strong and quit halfway. The truth is, it's not the most excited person who wins. It's the most consistent one. The person who keeps going day after day, even when the excitement is gone, even when no one is cheering, even when no progress seems to show. That's the person who reaches success. Consistency is what turns effort into excellence. It's not about doing something once in a while. It's about doing it every single day, even in small ways. Those little daily actions might seem meaningless at first, but they add up in powerful ways. You don't see progress immediately, and that's where most people give up. But success doesn't work like a microwave. It's more like an oven. It takes time, patience, and steady heat. You can't rush greatness. You build it brick by brick, routine by routine, habit by habit. Consistency is the foundation that all success stands on. Because without it, even the greatest talent in the world will crumble. Think about any successful person you admire. They didn't get there because they were motivated every day. They got there because they learned how to be consistent. They showed up when they didn't feel like it. They worked when no one was watching. They practiced when everyone else was resting. That's the secret. The world doesn't reward the person who starts the fastest. It rewards the person who stays in the race the longest. Consistency builds momentum, and momentum creates results. The more you stay consistent, the easier it becomes to keep going because you start to trust yourself. You start to see that your effort matters, even when it feels invisible. Consistency also builds credibility, not just with others, but with yourself. Every time you keep your word and follow through on a commitment, you prove to yourself that you can be trusted. And that's powerful. Because when you believe in your own consistency, you stop doubting yourself. You no longer need to wait for the perfect moment or the right emotion. You just do what you said you do. Consistency builds confidence. When you consistently take small steps toward your goals, you realize that discipline creates freedom. You're no longer controlled by laziness, procrastination, or fear. You become reliable, not just to others, but to your own dreams. The real difference between those who win and those who don't is simple. Consistency outlasts talent. You can be the most gifted person in the room, but if you only show up when it's convenient, you'll always be behind someone with less talent, but more commitment. Talent is a gift, but consistency is a choice, and that choice is what determines your future. You can't build something meaningful by working hard only when you feel good. You got to work hard when it's boring, when it's painful, and when it seems like nothing is happening. That's how results are born. When you look at success stories, they all have one thing in common. They didn't give up. They kept showing up long after everyone else stopped. They learned that consistency doesn't mean perfection. It means persistence. You don't need to be the best every day. You just need to show up every day. Some days you'll move inches. Some days you'll move miles. But as long as you keep moving, you're winning. Consistency is the bridge between your goals and your accomplishments. It's what transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary success. So when motivation fades, and it will, lean on your consistency. Keep going, keep working, keep believing, because success isn't built on one big moment. It's built on thousands of small, consistent ones. Every day you show up, you laying one more brick toward the life you want. And one day you'll look back and realize that the power of your success didn't come from motivation. It came from your consistency. Discomfort is the price of growth and the path to greatness. Everybody wants to grow. Everybody wants to succeed, but very few are willing to be uncomfortable long enough to earn it. Growth and comfort can never exist together. The moment you choose comfort, you choose to stay the same. You can't expect to become stronger, wiser, or more successful while living in the same routine, doing the same things that feel easy and safe. Growth requires you to stretch yourself, to walk into uncertainty, to face fear and frustration, and to keep going anyway. That's where real transformation happens, not in comfort, but in challenge. Every great person you admire today was once in a season of discomfort that tested them, shaped them, and prepared them for the life they have now. Discomfort is not your enemy, it's your teacher. It's the sign that you're moving beyond the limits of who you were. When things get uncomfortable, that's when most people quit. But that's also the exact moment when progress begins. You see, pain is not punishment, it's preparation. Every challenge, every hardship, every moment of struggle is shaping your mindset, your endurance, and your discipline. The gym teaches you this perfectly. The muscle only grows after you've torn it down through tension. Life works the same way. The struggle that feels painful right now is the very thing that's building your strength for what's coming next. You just have to learn to see discomfort differently, not as something to avoid, but as something to embrace. The truth is, the easy path never leads to excellence. The world is full of people who settle for what's comfortable. And because of that, they never reach their true potential. They take the easy job, the easy route, the easy decisions, and then they wonder why their life doesn't change. But if you want more, you have to do more. You have to be willing to step into situations that make you nervous, take risks that make your heart race, and face obstacles that make you doubt yourself. Because on the other side of that discomfort is growth, not just in your achievements, but in who you become. Discomfort is where you meet your real self. It's easy to be positive when life is easy. It's easy to be strong when everything going your way. But the true measure of your character shows when you're tested. How do you act when the odds are stacked against you? How do you respond when life knocks you down? That's when discipline takes over. That's when you either rise or retreat. The people who succeed are not the ones who avoid discomfort. They are the ones who stay calm inside it, who see it as a chance to grow instead of a reason to stop. They understand that greatness demands sacrifice, and that sacrifice often feels uncomfortable. You can't evolve in a place that feels easy. If your life feels comfortable right now, you might not be challenging yourself enough. Growth means doing the hard things. Waking up early when you rather sleep in. Putting in extra hours when you rather relax. Saying no to distractions when you rather give in. It means putting yourself in situations that stretch your limits, because that's how you find out what you're truly capable of. Every uncomfortable step you take is a sign that you're getting closer to your goals. Every time you do something that scares you a little, you expand in your capacity for success. Discomfort is also the secret ingredient of discipline. Without it, there's no progress. Every disciplined person has learned to make peace with discomfort. They've learned that pain is temporary, but growth is permanent. You may feel tired, frustrated, or overwhelmed. But if you keep pushing through that discomfort, something powerful happens. You become stronger, more focused, and more resilient. You start to realize that what once scared you doesn't scare you anymore. You've grown beyond it. That's the reward of discomfort. It transforms fear into confidence. So don't run from discomfort. Chase it. Seek the hard path, because that's where your growth lives. Every time you push past your limits, every time you face fear and keep moving, you're becoming the best version of yourself. Discomfort is not the end of the road. It's the beginning of greatness. And once you learn to embrace it, there's no limit to how far you can go. You can't build discipline in comfort zone. Comfort is the enemy of progress because it keeps you still while convincing you that you're safe. The moment you start to settle, you stop growing. Most people spend their entire lives trapped in their comfort zones. They dream about a better life, talk about success, admire other people's accomplishments, but never take the uncomfortable steps necessary to reach their own potential. The truth is, nothing extraordinary happens in the comfort zone. Growth demands discomfort, and discipline demands challenge. If you want to build discipline, you have to be willing to get uncomfortable, to face difficulty, to step into situations that test your patience and strength. That's the only way to build a mental muscle that separates achievers from dreamers. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, you weaken your discipline. Every time you say, I'll do it tomorrow, it's too hard, or I don't feel like it, you're training your mind to take the easy way out. Discipline is built in those very moments, the moments when it would be easier to quit, to rest, or to give up. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't intelligence, luck, or opportunity. It's the willingness to stay uncomfortable long enough to grow. When you force yourself to stay disciplined through discomfort, you train your mind to stop running from hard things. You teach yourself that you can endure, that you can stay strong, that you can push forward even when it's painful. That's how discipline becomes your identity, not just your behavior. Comfort zones give you a false sense of security. They whisper you're fine where you are, but deep down, you know that's not true. Staying comfortable feels safe, but it's actually dangerous because it keeps you from reaching your true potential. You can't create a new version of yourself while living by the same habits that keep you average. You can't rise to the next level of your life with the mindset that keeps you stagnant. Growth requires breaking patterns, challenging beliefs, and pushing boundaries. And none of that happens in a comfortable place. The greatest version of you is waiting beyond the walls of your comfort zone. But you'll never meet that version if you refuse to step out. The comfort zone is silent, but it kills dreams slowly. It doesn't destroy you all at once. It does it gradually through laziness, procrastination, and fear. It convinces you to stay where it's easy, where nothing hurts, where there's no risk of failure. But in avoiding failure, you also avoid progress. Discipline is the act of doing what's uncomfortable until it becomes natural. It's waking up early when your body wants to sleep, working on your craft when your mind wants to rest, saying no to temptation when your emotions want to give in. Each time you do that, you step further away from your comfort zone and closer to your potential. The reason discipline and discomfort go hand in hand is simple. Pressure creates diamonds. You can't grow strong without resistance. Just like a muscle only grows when it's pushed beyond its limit, your discipline only grows when you do what's hard. Every time you face a challenge, you're given two options: back down or rise up. If you rise up consistently, you develop grit, resilience, and focus. Those are the qualities that build champions. Nobody ever built greatness while staying comfortable. Every success story began with struggle. with someone daring to go beyond what was easy. Your comfort zone may feel like safety, but the truth is it's a prison. It holds you back from everything you could be. Freedom doesn't come from avoiding discomfort. It comes from mastering it. The more you push past your limits, the more your limits expand. Eventually, what used to scare you becomes easy, and that's when you know you've grown. Discipline thrives in discomfort because it forces you to choose purpose over pleasure, growth over ease, and strength over weakness. So if you truly want to build discipline, stop chasing comfort. Seek challenges that stretch you. Put yourself in environments that demand more from you. Push through the moments when you want to quit, because that's where your future is built. Every great person you admire stepped out of comfort to become who they are today. And if you're willing to do the same, to leave behind the easy road and embrace the hard one, discipline will transform your life in ways you can't even imagine. The person you become is shaped by what you choose to do when no one is watching. This is the ultimate test of discipline because it strips away excuses, external pressure, and applause. Everyone can perform when the spotlight is on. Anyone can work hard when someone is watching, when recognition is guaranteed, or when there's an audience to cheer them on. But the real measure of character, the real proof of discipline, happens in private. It happens in the quiet moments when nobody is there to witness your effort, when no one will praise you, and when no immediate reward is in sight. That's when your choices define you. That's when you either rise or you fall. Most people deceive themselves into thinking they can catch up later or skip today because they believe no one is noticing. But the truth is, your actions and solitude create your reality. What you do when you're alone, when no one is holding you accountable, determines the trajectory of your life. It's easy to show up when life is convenient. The challenge is showing up when it's hard, when you're tired, when you'd rather quit. That's what separates achievers from dreamers. Every small act of self-discipline compounds over time, and the accumulation of these private choices is what builds the person capable of extraordinary success. The choices you make in private reveal your true priorities. You can say all the right things publicly. You can talk about your goals, and you can make promises to others. But if your private actions don't align with your words, you're not progressing. Discipline is about integrity, doing what's right, not for recognition, but because it's necessary for your growth. Every time you push yourself to follow through in private, whether it's sticking to a routine, practicing your craft, or resisting temptation, you are investing in the person you will become. Those private victories accumulate silently, but they are more powerful than any public accolade because they are built on consistency, honesty, and commitment. The beauty of this principle is that it teaches you self-reliance. When you become the kind of person who can hold yourself accountable, you stop depending on others for motivation or validation. You learn to trust your own willpower, your own standards, and your own vision. That's the essence of true discipline. Doing what needs to be done even when no one is there to push you, even when no one will notice, because you know that the results are inevitable if you stay consistent. The private work you do today lays the foundation for public success tomorrow. It's also a lesson in patience. The rewards of discipline are often delayed. You may practice, study, or work in solitude for weeks, months, or even years without immediate recognition. That's where many people quit because they can't see the progress yet. But the disciplined person keeps going. They understand that every effort, every small act of consistency compounds over time. They understand that the unseen work done in private is the real engine behind visible achievement. By focusing on the actions themselves rather than immediate validation, they cultivate resilience and mastery that no external circumstance can shape. Finally, doing the work in private shapes your identity. You start to see yourself not as someone who hopes or dreams, but as someone who acts. You start to embody the qualities you aspire to. Discipline, persistence, integrity, and self-respect. Your habits define you long before your results do. Over time, your identity aligns with your goals because you have proven to yourself in countless unseen moments that you are capable of following through. This alignment between identity and action is what makes discipline unstoppable. Once you internalize that your life is a reflection of your private choices, you gain freedom. You are no longer swayed by external pressure, temptation, or fleeting motivation. You have become your own standard. So remember, the life you want is built not in the spotlight, but in the quiet, unseen moments. The person you become is forged in solitude, shaped by the decisions you make when no one is watching. If you can master those moments, if you can stay disciplined when it's just you and your goals, then nothing in the world can stop your progress. This is the power of private discipline. It transforms ordinary effort into extraordinary results, and it creates a version of yourself that no circumstance can derail.